Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today I'm going over the Galaxy S5, the 7 best features you should know about when considering this device. So the Galaxy S5 was just announced, and today I'm going to be going over the 7 features you should really know about to make you consider this device. So, without further ado, let's start off. First off, it is water and dust resistant. Now, to be clear, to be water and dust proof, you need to be able to go 6 feet underwater. So because it's not, it's 3 feet or 1 meter. So because of that, it can only be called resistant. However, this does mean you can go in the pool, you can shower, although I don't know why you would take your phone in the shower, but you might. And you can definitely you don't have to worry about getting wet and damaging your device. So that's a very good, obviously, benefit, and one of the biggest ones that most people have cared about. The second is the camera. Now, of course, the camera is a 16 megapixel camera, but it has a lot more than that to offer. So let's go over on what makes this camera pretty much my favorite for the top camera of the year so far. Now, let's go into it. So 16 megapixel camera, that's going to be one. It can shoot in what's called 4K or UHD, which is 4 times 1080p. But what really makes this stand out is the new autofocusing. So one of the biggest features that cameras tend to have difficulty with is autofocus. This one uses a technology called PDAF, which is phase detection autofocus. It's really impressive. Basically, SLRs use this, so professional cameras use this. And if this does this right, maybe to some degree of what an SLR does with, as an ex-photographer, I am very impressed by this. Not only that, but the autofocus on this one compared to any other device is 0.3 seconds. So it is the fastest autofocus by far. I mean, other devices don't come close to this one. So it's very impressive, and I am definitely impressed by this feature. So that's one of my biggest things that I love about this device. Now, the other feature is going to be the new HDR. So HDR is essentially when you want to take a low light photo without flash. So instead of this, you get this. That's the very simple way to think of HDR without getting too technical. Now, the great part about this is that HDR will now be real-time HDR, so essentially you won't have to have a long processing after you take the photo. Now, this is in part because of the new processor that's on this device. It's called an 801 processor, and essentially it's 45% faster at processing big images. And this is why we get this ability. Not to mention that this is going to be the first phone that has HDR on video recording, which again is very impressive. So instead of recording this at night, you'll be able to record this at night. Again, this is a huge benefit. Essentially, the idea behind HDR is what you see is what you're recording, not recording this. And finally, we get another great feature, which is select focus. So if you were to take this picture right here, you could actually select right here to have the focus in the front or in the back, and it can change it afterwards. So you can take the photo normal, but then you can alter it as you see fit. If you would like this part over here to be in the focus, or everything to be in focus. So it's a really nice feature that you can select focus. Again, something with aperture and depth that, again, is only normally found in professional cameras. And this feature is getting to be more common on other cell phones out there, but it's, again, great feature to have on a device, so you can't neglect it. Now, the third best feature after the camera is going to be ultra power saving mode. This is huge, especially the Ultra version. So we've always had power saving mode, and that's been nice. But now we have something called Ultra power saving mode. And essentially what Samsung has claimed is that when you're on 10% battery life, you can get as long as another 24 hours of standby time. Of usage time, you can see at 35%, I can still get 23 hours. Regardless of how I'm using the device, whether I have phone, message, or internet on, you can choose, of course, what you have on and what you limit. The fact is that if I'm at 10% and I can get 2 more hours, 3 more hours, that's a huge benefit to me, and it's definitely something that I know a lot of people like the ability to have just a longer battery life. So when you do not have to worry about it dying so quickly, this is a huge benefit. I guarantee you, I know some people that are just going to use it in grayscale the entire time, just to save a huge amount of battery life. So definitely, this is one of the most impressive features that I was not expecting. Now the next feature is something called Download Booster. Now essentially, to figure this out, this device has LTE and it's ready for LTA, which is, if you're in the US, is coming later on in the next 2 years, most likely. And it does have Wi-Fi MIMO AC. So other devices have had Wi-Fi MIMO N, and other devices have had Wi-Fi AC. This is the first phone to have both. Essentially, with these two combined, you can use something called Download Booster. And what Download Booster does is it combines Wi-Fi and LTE to get a much faster download speed. And you wonder, really, why hasn't this always been on our phones? This is such a simple concept, and it works very efficiently. Now, with the top two speeds, so at LTE at its top rate and AC MIMO at its top rate, Wi-Fi AC MIMO at its top rate, you can get 1 gig in 30 seconds. This is huge. That means you can download, an entire game in 30 seconds, or you can stream a movie or download it in 30 seconds. This is really huge, and it's definitely big that it has this ability. I really like it, and I just don't understand why this was never done before. It's kind of like a no-brainer that this should be on devices. And next we have the next big feature, which is going to be the Fingerprint Scanner. So, they're actually naming it Finger Scanner, not Fingerprint Scanner. Essentially what you do is just swipe your finger from the screen and then onto the reader. Now, obviously we've only had the prototypes at the floor. Some people have done it very often and some people haven't. So we're going to have to see when we get our live devices how well this works, but it's really going to be a nice gesture. I like it for the fact that I no longer have to have a password, although my work requires me to. This is the big reason why I like fingerprint scanners. However, another major benefit is to do mobile payments, which Samsung has incorporated PayPal to be able to do. The next one is 2 new features. So for the 6 best feature, we have 2 new modes. One is private mode. Private mode is really nice that you can actually secure certain sections of your phone. So you can secure the entire gallery or a section of the gallery, or you can secure things like documents. So you can kind of secure certain parts of your device, and then to get to them, you can use your fingerprint scanning capability. A really nice feature. The second mode is great for all those people that have kids or nieces and nephews. You actually have kids mode now, so it kind of locks up the phone so that only kids can use a certain feature on your phone, not the entire phone, and kind of do things that are very bad, of course, whether it be using your data or charging rates on new apps, in-app purchases. Now they can't do it with kids mode. This is a long time coming, and I'm very glad to see it on a high-end smartphone. And finally, the last top feature is the heart rate sensor. Now, it does have a heart rate sensor built into the device, and this is really a first, obviously, for smartphone. It's the world's first smartphone that has this feature, and I do think this is interesting, although I really rather prefer using it on the Gear or the Gear Fit for the most part. It just seems like so much of a better option. Now, these are the 7 best features for the Galaxy S5. Of course, we have others, just the traditional ones like removable battery, as well as add-on storage. You have lots of other features, but these are the ones that I would say stood out to me the most in order to have the best efficient device and what you really should know about it. Alright guys, hopefully you did like this show, and if you have any questions about the Galaxy S5, feel free to ask. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.